Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Cheers, mate.
Welcome. If you haven't been here before, just want to say my name is Roger, trading support, licensed to advise and assist your trading journey. I'll be putting the charts on in a moment, and then we can take it from there. Remember, this is an interactive forum where if you're not sure, please ask. We'll have people who've got more experience, medium, intermediate experience, and fairly new guys as well. We all need to react together, and so we can help each other. Don't forget, this is not a training class like in you're going to learn about, I don't know, indicators and forex or charts or whatever. That's done by the stock market college classes. This is where we try and get practical involvement in trades and see what we can do. So keep a note handy, keep a pen and paper handy, take notes, and please interact either on the chat or on, most people know after go past another couple of minutes, basically. Yeah, just giving you a few more seconds. Okay, go sort out just if you're not sure. Okay, we do have some more experienced guys on here. If you are beginning, take a few notes and just start to run that by me again if it goes a little bit quick. Okay, just a few more seconds, we'll get started. Otherwise, welcome everybody and good morning. Okay, that's how past we get started. Hello, Chris. Thought you were going to make it till about 10. Well done. Well done. Obviously, you got sorted. Maybe load shedding. I don't know. Sorted out. Good stuff. Now the rugby's over. I suppose that's the situation. Maybe if South Africa make the final of the cricket, maybe we'll have a day for your load shedding there. Oh, hang on. Why is that? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
You said that.
Okay, I can hear you, so I hope you can hear me now. Uh, am I breaking up still? I can hear me now. Good. Okay, fine. So the other guys are hearing me. So any problems hearing me? I just want just a second because it's flashing on the screen here and it's put me off of it. Switch to another screen. Good. Just let these guys in. Right. Just before we even look at trades or whatever, I just want to remind as well, guys, that we do have coming out today at 9:30 is the Swiss franc CPI. Bear that in mind because we've got an NZD-CHF trade there. Just bear that in mind. It's coming out at 9:30, and the president or chairman or the boss boy of the chairman of the Swiss National Bank is called Thomas Jordan, and he's speaking time that being that is more so want to be aware for the GP interest rate decision, and in the US the weekly jobless claims. So those and that could have some bearing on the trades. The US one will have some bearing. It's not the major one; it comes out every week. Is the jobless claims that still struggling? Wow! Can you hear me now? Can you
Yeah,
hear me now, guys? Or are you
mhm.
still struggling? Can
We
I
can hear
keep
you
speaking?
now.
You can hear me now. You're a star. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Just keep in touch. I'm still breaking up. Okay. Very few people on the planet ask me to shout a bit louder because I'm a very loud person. So it's quite a pleasant surprise. Yeah. Okay. Comes and goes. Maybe it's a stable internet connection. Don't know why. The weather is not that bad at the moment. Sometimes that does affect the fiber for some reason. It goes underground. I don't know. What do I know? But yeah, it should be okay. And it's not a there we are. I am down the south coast. Maybe it's different to Joburg or Durban or Blum or Cape Town or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, hope it doesn't give too many hassles. Okay, just going back. I want to repeat again. I'm sorry if you've already heard it, but I want to make sure you understand. 9:30. Actually, it's come out already. Just, just give me a second. Just give me a second. I want to. That's the economic calendar I use. I think a couple of new people might not have that. I'm giving you the dollar index, which is also very important. So give me a moment to do this. That's also got to be saved. And I'm giving the yields on the 10-year note. That's also important. That's got to be saved. So I'll do this while I'm at it. There we are. And I'm going to put my number in. It's Roger Trading Support. I'm licensed, by the way, to advise your trading journey. 3431. Preferably use WhatsApp. Okay, it's a bit quicker and easier to contact me. If it needs any more detail, I can just phone you back on the computer generated line, which we have, if that is the case. Please not on demo accounts, only on live funded accounts, clearly. Okay, I also want to mention I do have a VIP WhatsApp group, but to be able to diversify into more than one trade. That is one of the hassles with smaller amounts of money, as you can't go more than one trade at a time. So there's no point being a member of a group, send you half a dozen trades if you can't take them, sort of thing. So if you do have 2.5 grand or more, let me know, and I will then update you to my VIP group, and you also get daily updates and other areas of interest. Don't forget tomorrow. I'll go back. Sorry, the fundamentals. Just let these guys in. Give me a second. Right, just go back to the fundamentals. As I say, oh, 9:30. That's right. Just sorry, I lost my thread there. 9:30. Where are we now? Just a second. I've got the week, full week up there. Clicked on the full week. 9:30. Oh, exactly the same as expected. 0.1 came out. Remember, Switzerland's very stable. So that's fine. So the CPI, that's fine. Don't forget, 2 o'clock interest rate in the UK and 2:30 the weekly jobless claims. That comes every week. It's important, but it's not the top of the ladder as importance, but it's important, and that can affect dollar instruments as well as the NAS and the gold and the what you call it, the indexes. Okay, right. Just bear that in mind. Tomorrow we do have, as you said, internet connection is still unstable. Hope you're not going to have problems. Listen to me. I don't know why that is. I've got the backup router if that does give an issue. So bear with me if we lose connection with something to do. I have no idea why. I'm not a tech fundy on the fiber, but I've got a Wi-Fi router which I can just click in if give me a few moments. Okay. Right. I might just switch it on now just in case. It won't take long to back up. So just switch it on now just in case. Okay. Right. Where was I? That's a very important fundamental comes out the first Friday of the month, unless otherwise. Between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, the data release at 2:30. We're starting at 2 o'clock. For those people who want to join me, not on demos, must be live. We only have 100-seat allocation, so we don't want people taking other places up if you only got a demo account. You can therefore join me on that. It's the same Zoom ID as the trading rooms. You're all here, so you'll know that, obviously. And the reason why we're starting half an hour early, because some people don't understand the mechanic, know the mechanics of the particular straddle trade we'll be using. So it gives me enough time to go over it maybe once or twice, just so people understand it. So then by about 25 past or just before that, we can then place the trade and wait for the release. It's based on whether it's going to go up or down. We don't know that, but if it goes up, hopefully take advantage. If it comes off, we hope we can take advantage of that as well. The only time we can go wrong, so don't put all your money in it because we've had a good success on it. Sometimes it can go wrong. Where does it go wrong? If it comes out more or less the same as expected and the market doesn't know what to do, and you can jump up and down and sometimes take both trades in which you don't want. But this happens, but like everything else, there's a risk. There's no 100% return without some sort of risk. It's impossible. Just bear that in mind. If you don't want to take a risk, you're not going to get a high return, as known by when you put it in a savings account. Okay. When you start wanting bigger returns, you've got to obviously synchronize the upscaling of your risk as well. So I want a higher return with no risk is, well, it's not going to happen. Just bear that in mind. Okay. Bear in mind when you're trading, this is speculative. When you're trading it, you must have money which you can afford to risk. It's not your life savings, not your rent money, not your pension money. It's money you can afford to risk to make a buck. Okay. If you can't afford this risk, you can't do it. It is higher risk than equity because it's leveraged instruments. That's what's vital. You have the right equipment, go to the classes, get some basic knowledge, join regular trading room so you can start getting the hang of holding on to the trade, holding on per se, but modifying stop losses, understand and always reach TP and give the trade a chance, not exiting too quick as soon as you see a profit. After trading, I'm calling a person who's been actually getting in and out too many times and wondering why it's not doing well because he's just not given the trade a chance. You know what I mean? So that's all covered it over here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please ask and I'll repeat. Okay, so you got details there. That's fine. Save those links. They're very important. Okay, tomorrow, non-farm payrolls, 2 o'clock I'll be starting and run to about 3 with the 2:30 data release. So if you don't have a place to trade, you join me at 25 past 2, you're going to miss it because I won't have time to explain it. So if you already know how to place it, you come a couple minutes late, it doesn't matter. You get the idea. But if you're new to it, you need to have come a bit earlier so I can explain that to you on this trading room Zoom. Okay, very important coming out, and that will affect the dollar, and we can get some big movements. It'll affect gold, it'll affect the indices and stock market. Okay, just bear that in mind. Okay, having said that, just put this back out the way. NZD-CHF. As you can see, I've got a Fibonacci retracement. If you've been to classes, this is a very important one. Stochastics and others are all good stuff, but they do lag the price action. Support, resistance, and Fibonacci are very strong. They're very strong indeed. And I put a Fibonacci, what we call a Fibonacci retracement on there. And the 50 Fibonacci retracement held. The 50-day moving average seems to be holding, number 2. Number 3 is backed up by a bit of support there as well. or resistance if you're going long. And number four, the Swiss franc is very stable and strong. Bear in mind we call it that area in the world when Australia and New Zealand are, it's called the Antipodes. I'm probably sure most of you are aware of it, but it's not, you now know it's called the Antipodes. They of out of the 8 major and cross currencies are the most risky. They can be very weak, they can be very strong, of course, sometimes middling. So those are very much risk on currencies. Just bear that in mind. Having said that, over the last, excuse me, five and a half days, or just under 5.5 days, it has gone up by 150 pips. I think a lot that's to do with the fact, a little bit on the New Zealand side, but I think a lot of it, because it was considered maybe the Swiss franc, although it's very strong, was overvalued. And sometimes you get a push back up. Okay. Like, you got a good house in a good area, it can be overvalued. And somebody think the area is not very good. Some of your house is undervalued. You get a bounce in the price or a pullback at the overvalued scenario. Okay, bear that in mind. They have quite a lot of trade relations with China, and that's going through some pretty tough times at the moment. So, to me, a little bit still negativity as regards NZD CHF. Okay, we did have a trade out. Some people are still in it. Obviously, don't play around with it, but if we send it out again, because it seems to rise to the point where the 50 seems to be holding. Having said that, again, that's why we stop loss. Full loss, make sure you have it there. It gives you the risk of don't overexpose. Just bear that in mind for EP. So if you make any profits, it will obviously similarly will the stop loss we put it above the 100, which is the black line, the 100-day moving average. So it's got to go up quite a bit to stop you out, but we can't guarantee that won't happen. You will get losing trades. Now we aim over a period of time 2 out of 3. Now, what that means is, it doesn't mean to say you get every 3 trades, you get 2 winners. You get 5 winners on the trot. You sometimes, not that often to be fair, but you can get 5 winners on losers on the trot as well. It runs, you know what I mean? You get bad days and good days, etc. Market movements, there are millions of variables. Not millions. There are, however, millions different. So always going to have what we call the noisy ups and downs. So if you hang on and hang on, the stop loss, move your stop loss away, etc., your one loss can make up for several winners. Just bear that in mind. So give the trade a chance instead of just jumping out, rather modify the stop loss and things like that. Yeah, because trouble is people are getting nervous, they're getting frightened, they're staring all the time. See, I'm not looking at my trades at the moment. Stare at the damn thing all the time, and it plays their head. And then in the end, they take 5 Rand profit here, 10 Rand profit there, and then take 100 Rand loss and a loser. So they've got to win a hell of a lot to make up for that. Just try and use a bit of rationality, although I get it's very difficult when the emojis are flying. That's why a demo account teaches you nothing, because you take the emotions out, you take the bulk of the skill of trading. Okay, bear that in mind. Okay, right. Okay, so if you like that one, the signal is there. You can do it. If you don't, well, don't. The idea, it's a trade idea. It's not a guarantee. It's your choice. You can look at it. If you like it, do it. If you don't like it, don't. But that being said, obviously, I'll do my best to get nice ones out, but they can go awry. So I don't mean to do it. I said didn't do it in purpose. Sachin Tendulkar, the great cricketer, but she didn't really follow cricket much. Probably a bit more now than married. I don't know. And she asked him once, "Why did you get out?" And he turned to turn around. I was quite laugh at this. He says, "Well, I didn't mean to get out. No, I don't mean to sell you a signal that goes all right. Market does what the market does. That's why you have to protect yourself and try and run with a profit." Hope that will make sense. Right, it should have been sent to you, but I'll give it to you anyway. The stop loss on this one is 5.2, 0.52 on the dot, and 0.5382 the TP, and is 130 Rand per micro. I'll write down for you, actually, probably a bit easier. SL 0. I got the right way around? Got the wrong way around, you dickhead. Sorry. Stop loss 0. 5382 TP 0.52. It's a sell, obviously. Risk is 130 Rand per 0.01. If anyone can't work out their volumes using that arithmetic, you seriously need to get a maths class, because that should be able to extrapolate from that amount. If you can't do that before you go further in trading, you've got to know how to do the basic arithmetic on it. Okay. And I've had that. Believe it or not, I've had guys saying, how do they? I've only put 0.04 on. What if I want to go in bigger? What do I do then? That's a pretty scary question, because they should be able to extrapolate. That's arithmetic. It's not major calculus, Right. Okay. So there you are. If you want to do the Nasdaq Micro, you can, but just bear in mind there are fundamentals coming out. Just be a little bit careful on that basis. If you want to remember, the risk is all that. That's why we have a micro. Because this one here, we got about an 80 pips stop. The micro is about 222. That's why, if you got to do them, bear that in mind. Okay. Right. So there it is. Any questions on that so far? Are we all clear now on the fact we've got the non-farms tomorrow and what's happening on the economic front, etc.? Well, the past years, here Brent is yeah, okay. Very good point, Sam. That is, they have what's called a price comes from a specific source. Okay. And some of those prices, from the broker's perspective, are slightly different. The market maker makes a market by having a counterparty trade to Gively. And you have what's called a D desk will come out with a specific trade on investing.com. It might be a slightly different figure than on ours. It's not a train smash. It doesn't make a lot of difference, because if it goes from 85 on the laptop to 87 and you're going long, you made $2. But that one might have 87, so it went to 89. So the discrepancy might be $2, but it doesn't make much difference, because you won't suddenly say, you know, what I'm saying is, you won't say you're a $2 per barrel loss on it. No, still gone up $2, so it doesn't really make any difference. And that's the reason. But yeah, brokers have different prices simply because the market maker sets that price, which he receives from the feed from the dealer desk. Remember, MT5 is a broker. Not sorry, far from it, actually, right? Is a platform which many brokers like ourselves use. Okay. And we have a data provider. I think it comes from like UK and Germany and whatever. They give the data feed, which is extremely expensive, very expensive indeed. That's why I have brokerage to pay for it, to be honest. And also on top of it, like Standard Bank might have a broker. It's a multi-billion rand company. But unless you're a multi-billion rand company, usually you'll pay for the data on a platform, which MT5 is originally a UK company. That's why you do get glitches on the system sometimes. Don't get on, we can if you like, but it's no point. It's not quick trade. It's the data issue over in Europe. Okay. Obviously, get on as quickly as possible. How long it takes, we don't know. So it sticks. It's nice to draw attention, and they'll go and chase them up in Europe. But how long it's going to take to come up, no idea. I say do about it, not a lot, to be honest. All brokers around the world, their data feed can have glitches. I'm sorry to say, I'm being upfront. There's no good saying, will I get my money back or something like that? No, you won't. It just happens. Try not to happen very often, but it does occur. But yeah, so you tend to get glitches like anything, like any form of mechanical instrument or electronic instrument. But if it happens, you might see it. No harm. The company will get onto and say, just to remind. I don't know, but anyway, the point is they'll get onto it. And then how long does it take? Well, it depends on the size of the problem. And don't ask me. That's an involved, basically, IT guy. Well, probably a master's in the job. I don't know. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'm still breaking up. Sorry about that, Gerard. Okay, can you? I'm shouting a bit louder. Can you hear me better now? I hope it's not my internet. But yeah, just remember the Stock Market College, which sells educational packages. There's us, Quick Trade, which is a broker, and there's MetaTrader 5, a completely separate company, overseas company, where we use the platform. So this is not our platform. It's a platform like many brokers. We use it because the expense of the data. Okay. And we tend to get glitches in that data feed from overseas. And when it happens, we just get onto them, and obviously they fix it. It's no good standing over them, asking how long is it going to take, or your frustrating vent if you like. But there's nothing we can do about it until they fix the issue. You know what I'm saying? You jump up and down if you have a flat tire, but till it's fixed, not much you can do. Okay, so they have fail-safe systems in. I get that, but it happens all over the world. It just happens. Okay. Bear that in mind. Hope that's all clear. Okay, I hope I answered your question there, Sam. And yeah, so there we are. Yeah. Anything else I'd like to discuss? Joe, I see there's a couple of new names in there. Would you like to say hi or got a pen and paper? Anything you jotted down you want to question on? Please don't call me out and say, like I had one guy the other day say, please teach me trading. I cannot teach you trading on the phone. It's a bit more to it than that. That's sometimes true. That Zeph. Well, I know you're teasing. I certainly wasn't. I'm more worried about the fiber than that. But sometimes you do it. Dang, dang, dang. No bad connection. I know, but when are you going to pay that money you owe me? Yeah, sorry, sir, I can't hear. Bad connection. Sorry. Yeah, I get you. And suddenly you get a call, so you have won the lottery. When do you want to pick up the 20 million rand? Surprising how the connection gets suddenly very much better at that stage, hey, Zeph? You'll be doing the overseas lottery, hey? Probably about 20 million euros instead. That'd be all right. Anyway, moving along. Anything on the fundamental front you want to discuss? Anything on the practical front you want to discuss? Trading front? Being a bit circumspect and getting too many traders, especially dollar related, because the big stuff coming out today and tomorrow. Hopefully, for goodness sake, hopefully get some direction coming into Monday, because then we get some good stuff out. But just remember, when we have economic fundamentals coming out, you have to be more aware of them. Because never mind double tops and double bottoms and highs of those technically, they can move in either direction depending on the data coming out of that economic calendar. Okay. Any questions on all that? Anything you want me to repeat it on? Anything you want to particular want to look at? Anything in that line? Any questions, guys? Anyone discuss? Did anyone do the NAS, by the way? Okay, let's just do that. Right. Um, Enoch's speech yesterday in the midterm budget was fairly strong as regards. Okay, thank you. To good stuff. Okay, we'll come to that in a moment. Just ask the question the dollars are from Prince. Okay. Um, it did come out. The fact is going to be tightening up on the handing out to the cash of these SOEs, what do you call it, state-owned enterprises. You with me? Which is, I've been saying for a long time, that's going to be construed as good news. The problem is, with this country, there's too many people working in bureaucratic area, which is cost like to think it should be. Remember, they don't hire and fire quite the way like the private sector does. If your company's not making money, then you have to make a plan. They're not making money; they're taking it, and it's tightening up. As you know, Transnet is essential, but they want another 130 billion. So there's a lot more strings being attached. Because often in the past, just been throwing good fiscal taxpayer and borrowed money at them without actually finding is it worth it or not, or streamlining it, for want of a better word. Okay, and so that had a bit of strength on the rand. It sounds like it's got to be implemented first, and the guys have got to go on board with it, but add some strength to the rand. What I have to be honest with, what confused me was you don't know what is going to come out. You might think it, but you don't know. Like I might have sorts of opinions what's going to happen tomorrow in the non-farm in the US, but I don't know. And it's been coming off the last few days with a dollar that's been strengthening. So up to that point, the rand's been pretty weak, and it's against one of the stronger currencies, which was strengthening, and it's still coming off. That I must admit did confuse me. Okay. You know, looking back, I think one of the guys just said, look at a short on that. And I would be keen on shorting. I mean, shorting that means you're selling a stronger dollar and buying the rand. Short fundamental yesterday came out, but it came in, at 2 o'clock he started talking. You know what I mean? Look at the last couple of days. So I'm not quite sure behind that why such a strengthening of the rand. Again, if the dollar's weak, and I understand it was actually strengthening. That did confuse me. Coming back to it now, even though it's broken out from the buy zone to between the blue and the brown, which is the mid neutral zone, its technical damage is opened up in the sell zone. Does that mean you're going to now be confident to sell the dollar, which is now still holding above 106, even though it's slightly, very slightly dovish stance about interest rates yesterday from the Fed brought it down a bit, but it's starting to rise a little bit. Would you be thinking, it's now in the sell sector, I'm going to buy the rand? Oh, I think you're taking a bit of a chance there. I think it might wait for a bit of consolidation first, leave it alone going into the weekend. But if it starts weakening again, in other words, going up, remember when the rand weakens, the dollar strengthens, obviously. So you'll be buying it if the rand weakens. If you think it's going to weaken a little bit further, maybe wait to see if we can take out this area here, the 200-day moving average, and starts moving up. You put your stop down here and your TP up here, and you can grab it. Okay. Okay. But if you want to see a retracement to here or pull back to here to rally to here and set it down again, you can, but be careful. If good things start to happen with the economy now, which haven't been happening the last few years, fantastic. It probably will, because I tell you what, the world is begging for good news to come out of here. They don't want time and effort they put in the Constitution, all the effort they were put in to see another failed state coming out. You know what I'm saying? So they're very much on SA side, but they want to see the leaders come to the bloody party. The corruption that state grabbing and and a lot of what do you call it, gangsters and these sort of things. And slogan, you'll get a lot of support right now. So that be the case. Technically, yes, you're quite right. Down further, by buying around $7, but technically speaking, I agree with you, Prince. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. Yeah. So what other people think of that? That's just my take on it. I'm not going to try and short it, but I'm not confident to buy it yet. What do you guys feel? Do you think on it, because it's purely technical, it's a short? I agree with you. What do you think, Prince? Nice to discuss that, because it's good when you actually have an opposite point of view, guys. then we can discuss, because the whole market is an opposite point of view. If you don't have a buyer, you won't ever, it's no, you can't. Guys, I've got the router on as well. I just so I don't say I don't. Okay, just wait for it to come back. It seems a bit. I've no idea why, so I don't. Sorry, I put my router outside to get a better reception if it comes on. I don't know why, because I know what's wrong with the fiber. It's not giving me any problems lately. I just don't know. Okay, right. I hope you can see the charts now. Okay, and okay, I've switched over to the fiber. Just share the charts again. Not the fiber, sorry. Just give me a moment here. Yeah, I switched over to the fiber guy, not the fiber, the router. Maybe a bit more stability, and I put it outside for a better reception on the balcony. So I hope that's going to get a decent reception. We're not going to have the problems there. Okay, get the participants there. Admit. There we are. Just give me a second to set it up again. Hope we don't have any more problems. Say, where's the chat line? Where's the chat line? There we are. Okay, right. Hope you can hear me all right. And to say, are we back up on? I think we're back up on this. I've got the router going. I've changed it over from the fiber. Hope we don't have any more glitches. I don't know what's wrong with the fiber. Well, I just don't know, so I can't really comment on it. Okay, good stuff. Right. So, being that as it may, any more discussions on the dollar rand? Don't forget, if you're new to this, don't touch the dollar rand, whatever we buy or sell it. The reason being is it is a very volatile. It's called an exotic. It's not a major currency, and it does attract higher deposit or margins. So anybody under 3 grand, preferably a little bit more, probably 3 grand, absolute minimum, preferably a bit more, can look at doing the dollar rand, and the costs are much higher. It's all the same around the world because it's called an exotic. Okay. And the liquidity is not quite there in the same way, let's say euro dollar. So you have higher costs, higher deposit or margins. That's the point. Now, if you have got 5, 6, 7 grand or more, or 10, I don't know, whatever, more, and you haven't traded before, rather cut your teeth on the crosses and the majors for playing around with the rand because of the costs, etc. You don't want to have your money tied up in a volatile instrument simply because the margins are much higher. It's in the region of about 700 rand plus minus a micro, which most people can't have. If you know, that's a lot of money to be taken out. If you've got a couple of K in your account, you don't want 700 rand taken out to keep an eye on this one. And the costs are about 30 odd. If you're not sure to look at the costs, it's quite straightforward. We do pips, not points, but it's measured in pips. So I'll just, you left click on the instrument, right click on it, and then left click on specification, and it tells you there it's 30 pips. So it's expensive to do, but it still can be volatile. I'm still, even though the cost can be quite profitable. Going back to the dollar around the moment, I'm not going to be shorting it down here. I think I'm still thinking, I still think I'm back in the dollar over the rand, despite a reasonable budget, depending on your point of view, I suppose. And I think it's not going to sustain a heck of a lot more. Being as it may, technically as a sell, I'm going to stay clear. Okay. Right, Krista. Good to have you back, Chris. Let's have a look now. Look at the gold and the Dow. Start off the gold. Right. Gold will be affected by the non-farms, weekly jobless as well, but certainly will be affected by the non-farms. Remember, if the non-farm payrolls strengthen the US dollar, the gold should weaken. If it has the opposite effect on gold. So the stronger dollar, weaker gold, weaker dollar, stronger gold. So what is the reason why gold's up there? We've had a stronger dollar. People turn to gold in times of fear, stress. It's like a safe haven, if you like. Gold maintains its value, and as a result of it, they tend to run to the country to buy up bullion, etc. Now, because of the Middle East war, it's not, I know they haven't got oil in Israel, but the point is in that part of the world where the oil is, it creates a lot of concern. We don't know how far it's going to blow up in our faces. It's been an era of fighting carrying on for a long time. Not quite sure when it's ever going to end, if ever it does. But the point is that fear factor pushed it up. It's easing off a little bit now, not because they've suddenly got peace, it's because all that is being discounted in the market. Okay. Having said that, the dollar still, even though it's come off a bit, still fairly strong. So it's still being propped up a lot of fear. Number two, as I said, look at yesterday's candle, very indecisive. The buyers and sellers are tussling it out, and there's no clear direction. And again, with the funders coming out today and tomorrow, I don't see much clear direction to get clever with it. So I personally would be leaving gold alone. Of that reason, that's the reason why. Okay, we'll come to that in a minute, Kyle. Okay, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, we'll go back to it and discuss further. It's very important we discuss so we can learn from each other. It's very important. The Dow Jones, if you tilt the NAS and start playing around the Dow, I think both of them might be a little bit iffy, but it's up to you. You can do. I still think it could get a bit of a pullback here. My worry again is the fundamentals. It will affect it. And that's outside the control. Let's put up Fibonacci retracement in. If you're looking at a bear market, it might go up there before coming off. It has some resistance there. It might come off. I personally think if you took the NAS, rather steer clear of this. If you think it's going to come off here, then don't do the NAS. Just be very careful. As I say, jobless claims coming out later and non-farms tomorrow. That will affect it. And we don't know which way, depending on the data that comes out. Bear that in mind. Okay. Just going to clear that out of the way. I don't like cluttered charts. Okay. Right. Carl, to come to your question. This is a trading room. You need to be attending a couple of classes where they teach you various indicators. So I'm told at 6:30 in the evening. My function here is to deal with people who've already done a couple of classes, know how to place trades, have done platform training, so we discuss trading advice and trades themselves. Having said that, identifying highs and lows is basically looking at this area here. I'll put a crosshair up for maybe everyone not quite sure. You see it's gone, came down, came up. You see it held there. The wick is when the sellers come and defend it. Defended it there, defended there, defended there. Just look across that crosshair there. So you can see at that stage, it's battling to break further up. So it broke through the area there, came down here. I'm talking the obvious now, I get that. Up to that area there. The point I'm trying to make, you can see a few sellers came defending it. It is below the 50, which is the blue, below the 200, which is the brown, the most important of all of them, and the 100, which is the black line. You need them all. Okay, if you like the 10, it's not as important, but it's nice to have. So you need to have the blue and the brown, most important, and then the 100, and then the 10. These are 10, 200, 50, and the 100. All simple moving averages. Put them on your chart and save them. Right, now it's in the sell zone. So to me, the action is likely to be some downside. Why don't we do a sell? Simply because I'm worried about the fundamental interference, as I mentioned on the economic calendar. Hope that answers your question. Let's have a look at this one to make sure. It's a bit of a high up here. Can you see that? There's a previous high around about this level here. There's a previous high around about that. A low here and a low here. So if it comes down here, it might bounce. A lot of people put TPs there. Remember, guys, when you sell short, your exit is a buy. When you buy long, your exit is a sell. So if you've got your TPs there, not yours alone, but you've got a large amount of them set there, when they're hit, that means they're buying to get out. You get what we call a short covering bounce because the buyers are pushing it up, not because they're buying to get in. Some of them will be. It's because they're exiting by buying, which causes price up. If you go through that, that will be the next sort of resistance area if you're going short. So a bit of support resistance there. Got the cross there. Get a bit there. You see there's a bit there if you look at it. There's a bit round about this level as well. And if you go up a bit further, a little bit, not that much, but there's a bit around that level as well. These are all, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, several areas of resistance. A little bit round about, not that much there. More to the points, a bit more there, a bit more there. You get the general idea. So it's like several floors in a hotel. Hope that makes sense. You're on the fourth, you have resistance, the fourth ceiling, the fifth ceiling, the sixth ceiling, the seventh ceiling, etc. Hope you get the idea. Okay, let Dawson in. Okay. Oh, clear. Okay. Don't forget, have the moving averages on, make your life a lot easier, and they're very effective. Right click on the blank part of your chart, go to template, see that, save the template, guys, and don't forget, put your name in there, save it. So if you do lose, all you do is right click, go to templates, and the various charts you saved are down there. Pick the one you like, and you're up and running again. Don't forget that. Any information, need an instrument, left click, right click on the one of choice, and then left click on specifications, gives the details there. I don't want anybody to be trading or if they, sorry, just let Ahmed in. I don't want anybody to be trading if they don't understand when I say leverage and what I'm talking about. Does anybody not understand in the trading room when I use the term leverage? I can explain it. Hopefully, it won't take long. If it does take too long, I won't hold the class up, and then you can go to the the trading room up. Then you go to the evening class for more detailed explanation. But we're not in equities. You're in leveraged. We call them derivatives. And anybody not know that you're in leverage trading and the pros and cons of leverage? Please let me know. Everyone must know that. And thank you, Ebenezer. I like your support on that. Thanks very much. Yes, absolutely. And sometimes we get away from the basics and then we start making mistakes. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yeah, but coming back, does anybody here? Yeah, I think I think it's just a bit of a bounce, more than that much strength coming in. For the simple reason is it's been oversold. I think a lot of people think maybe it's been undervalued and got into it because I don't. There's that much fantastic happening trying to help it, and it's quite risky as well as the NZ. It can jump around more than the others. It's not an exotic. It's a cross, highly liquid traded instrument, but it tends to be more risk associated than, let's say, the Swiss franc. Okay. Okay, Hunter and others there, do not trade unless you know your leverage instruments. When you buy something in this line, it's like buying a motor car or anything. You're putting a deposit down. Margin and deposit means exactly the same. Right. You want to buy this house and it's 1 million rand. If it's 100 to 1 leverage, that means your deposit is 1% or 10,000 rand. That 10,000 rand comes out of your account. Then you sign the papers, you bought the house. But it's not your house. You've only put a deposit down. You still owe 990,000 rand. And that's what we call your exposure. So you've got 1 million rand exposure. That's the house, even though you only put a 10 grand deposit down. Now, the problem with that, if you don't understand it, a very small movement in the exposed house, as in a million rand house, that's your exposure, percentage wise, is quite a large percentage movement to you. A 1% move in the house price is a 100% movement to you. If that house price goes up by 10 grand from a million, up or down, it might be only 1% of a million rand, but you only invested 10 grand. That's your deposit. So if it goes up, you've doubled your money. If it goes down, you haven't got any money left. That's why you have to have correct position sizing. And that's why it's so much quicker. That's called leverage trading. Now, if you want to see what the margin is, not all of them are 500 or 100 to 1, depends. Let's take the EuroCAD. I don't take anyone. Take the Dow we've got up here. Why not? Do the Dow, okay? You left click, right click, go to specifications, and it says this is a 500 to 1 account. So it says 0.015. You get that figure and divide it into 100. Right? That's about what's that to 100 off the top of my head? About 50. It's about 60, 70 to 1, 65 to 1 or something like that. Yeah, it's about 70 to 1. So is that right? Hang on. Pretty good at maths usually. Just give me a second, try and get an idea. It's quite important. Just give me a second, guys. This is so important. I'm convinced a lot of people are trading, not knowing that the high risk leverage speculative trading. Where is it now? 100 divided by 0.015 gives me a figure. Yeah, that's 600. That's got 666, slightly over. But yeah, that it should be a leverage of about. Is that right? 100 to. No, sorry, wrong way. It's 66 to 1. So that's not 500 to 1 on that. It's 66 to 1 leverage. So in other words, your deposit when you go into this particular instrument is 1.5%. 0.01 is 1%, so that's 1.5%. What is the size of the contract on this is 10. The micro is contract 1. So what does that mean? That's $33,000 on a contract size of 1 is your exposure. If you go into the normal Dow, the contract size is 10, clearly times that. So that's $330,000. What's that in rands? That's about 3 million. It's about 6 million rand, plus minus, maybe slightly more. Round figure, around about 6 million rand or just above is your exposure. So when you go into the Dow with 1.0, that's one contract size, therefore your exposure or the house you're buying or the car you're buying is 6 million rand, plus minus. If you go 0.1, it's obviously a tenth of that. So it's 600,000. 0.01, if you go 0.01, it's 60,000 rand is your exposure. You get the idea. And then you put a deposit down. If you're going on the micro, so that says 10, bear that in mind. Where's it 10? Bear that in mind. If you go on the micro, exactly the same price. It just means the contract size is different. It says 1. So now it's 600,000 for a standard. 60,000 for a mini, and a micro lot, it will be 6,000 exposure. So therefore, it is now quantifiable. And even on this one, it's like slightly less margin. So the margin is smaller, so the leverage is higher. So you get a leverage is higher on the micro because it's 0.003. It's basically 1/3% or 30 basis points, where the other one is 150 basis points. You get the idea. So if you want to get the leverage on that, you'll take the figure of 100 divided by 0.003, and that comes up 330. So that's a 331 leverage. So every 1% the Dow moves is like 333% to yourself. That's fine if it goes with you, but it goes against you. That's the issue. So there's a lot of good stuff about leverage, but you've got to understand the pros and the cons. Nothing wrong with driving at 300 k's on the Autobahn German, there's no speed limit. If you've got the car, you've got the ability, you've got the knowledge, you're understanding that you are driving at 300. Because if something goes wrong, you're going to have a lot more damage at 300 than you would at 30 k's, clearly. That's the important part. And in fact, overseas, like Europe and America, etc., you've got to sign an affidavit saying you understand what leverage means and the pros and cons of it. Otherwise, they won't allow you to open an account. It is important to understand that. This is not so. A guy says, "Hang on, your costs are high," because they're working the costs out on the deposit, not the exposure. I'm telling you right now, he's not here. Pietro's a state agent. Uh, um, Basically, to give an idea, an estate agent, I think it's about 8%. That's 8% of the house price, not the deposit. Remember that. So the costs here are tiny, but it looks a lot because you're only putting a tiny margin down. You've got to say it's about 0.04%, something ridiculous, or even smaller than that. 0.004% is the actual cost. Tiny, tiny cost percentage wise, but it's of the exposure, like the house of the exposure, not the deposit. And that's got to be understood. So you say, what's the commission on buying that £1 million house? 8%. It's not £1 million on your 10,000 rand deposit. No, it's 8% of the £1 million because that's the house you bought. Same principle. So your exposure, if you buy 0.01 on the micro, your exposure is around about 6,000 rand, and you put a deposit down of whatever, divide that by 300. What's that? 6,660. It's about 20, 30 rand deposit, whatever it is. Tiny deposit, 20 rand comes out, but your exposure is high. Got it. Very, very important. 6:30. You should have all those details. If not, you can go. It's all itemized there when you log into LMS. I'm not with Stock Market College. I'm not employed by them. I'm employed as a broker with Quick Trade. I don't do that stuff. That's a separate company. That's educational package sold. If you're still not sure, you can go to the live chat on the portal, go to Academic or Stock Market College or whatever, and they'll give you, once they've proved you own or bought the course, they'll give you those classes. If you haven't bought the course, they won't give you the ID because you've got to buy it first, obviously. This is free, and so is the platform train and position size calculator, but the classes are not. You've got to buy the course. Oh, we're clear on that. No, this idea is purely for the trading room. Okay, Hunter and company, are we good on that? Do we understand? Very important, the pros and cons, the speed of driving a leverage product. Good stuff. Because I do know for a fact, I've seen it happen when somebody's WhatsApp me and he'd been trading for several months and he asks the question, it indicates that they're not sure, they didn't know they're in leveraged products. I mean, that's why you get margin call, because it's a deposit. It's another point. Why do you get margin called? The reason you get margin called, you have no free margin in your account. Let's say you got a 1,000 rand in your account and you put 950 on the market, your free margin 50 rand. That free margin must be kept in the positive because the deposit or margins, like when you borrow money, it's collateral. That's what the swap fees are for. It's interest on the borrowed money charged daily. You're borrowing money, and that is the collateral. You take the collateral away, they're called in the loan. So it doesn't matter if you buy this right now and you put your stop loss down here somewhere. If you're overexposed and you haven't got enough free margin, once it's that area, it's actually 80% margin level, 80%, that trade will be closed. And that's the continual problem with highly leveraged accounts with tiny balances. They don't understand that. They're going in with overexposed, tiny movements in the underlying, in the end, knocks their free margin sideways, and then they are margin called. You've got to know these things. It's not a good enough explanation. Google it. Why don't find out? Those are very important. And it continually happens with people who are trading with very small amounts and not understanding that, you know. I tell 500 to 1, give an example. It's 2,000 rand deposit on a 1 million rand house. Hey, I can buy that house 2,000 rand. But the problem is you forget your responsibility is 1 million rand, not 2,000 rand. Okay. The banks lend you the difference, but they're just lending the money. They're money lenders. It's your bloody house. Hopefully, it'll become your house if you keep up the payments and keep your deposit margin collateral intact. Hope that's all clear. Okay, carbon mid. Yeah, we've spoken just now earlier on the WhatsApp. That's fine. As I said, you won't pick it up as you go along. Please, guys, try to join the trading room because you don't want to buy an educational package and coming in blind. It might be a bit confusing. It's like saying, I want to study maths at university, teach them what 101 is. No, that's where you learn in the classes beforehand. You don't go to I want to be a lawyer, go to a legal company, say, teach me and employ me. No, you go to law school and then you go and look for a job as a legal company. Here it's for people who do understand the basics. I've gone off the subject at the moment. Don't see many trades coming out. That's what I've gone off a little bit, but it is a worry. I'm sorry to hold up Gerard and the other guys, Ebenezer. Thanks for your support. Is because I do know, guys, and it's difficult saving in these economic times and stuff. I get that. And that's precious what you have saved. It's hate to see it blasted simply because you know some basics. Smacking the car or spend the weekend in jail because you broke the speed limit simply because your speedometer wasn't working. It's such a pity. You know what I mean? But guys like Kyle, Ahmed, and guys are coming in, and Hunter, it's vital guys do take that trouble to interact. If you don't ask and you don't understand, how I can't help. And fantastic, NK. And on top of it, even if I can't help, it's not my department. I probably could, but I've got other stuff to do. I'll put you in the right direction. Okay. I logged in a bit late, but we're looking at yeah, right, Ebenezer, no problem. I've got a couple of chat about the Tsar just earlier on. We'll go back to in a minute. I just want to do Ferrando this one first because we haven't looked at that one. I think we had one the other day out on that one. I think we did quite well. Was that one or one? What was that one? Hit the TP. What was that one again? That was a Euro JPY, I think. Yeah, it was a Euro JPY, beg your pardon. Right, what we got here? What have we got here? Right. Rado, you've been listening. You've been attending classes, my friend. I like it. Yeah. Immediately, with a bit of practice, you'll get immediately. Me, I react immediately. That's just practice, by the way. Don't panic on that. Take a bit of time. I've got it set up, do it everybody day. I look at that immediately. Where's the 200, by the way? Let's make sure where's the 200 on this thing? There, right down there. Right. So immediately above the 200, above the 100, above the 50, above the 10. What does that tell them? It's the buy zone. What's it come down to? It's come back, push through, come back, and it's attacked the support, and it's attracted the buyers back up again. Have you got that, guys? Well done, Rainer, by the way. Have you got that? It went through from the neutral zone, because above the 200, through into the high zone, came back to the floor, for want of a better word, the support area, and then bounced yesterday and bounced again today. So it looks like it's now a buying opportunity coming in. Technically speaking, well spotted. What is the problem? Sorry, guys, a little bit of a problem. I'm going to be honest, Rainer, I'm a little bit worried about the yen. The government has mentioned they are likely to intervene again. They've done it twice already, once big time, once slightly less, if the yen weakens too much. They'll come in, they'll buy the yen to strengthen it. It's like we call it Bank of Japan intervention, or Japanese government intervention, rather. And when they buy, I mean, they buy up big. We're talking, billions and billions of dollars to support the yen. Now, when that happens, you get a sudden strength of the yen and you get a flick. There's a green, obviously, but let's say you get a flick down like that, and all your trading strategy will go up to maggots because that was artificial intervention, like a fundamental, if you like. That is concerning a little bit. So just be careful of that. Let's have a look at the dollar. It's easier to keep an eye on it. The last time they come GBP JPY, last time they intervened was 150.10, just above 150. Then it got near the 151 mark, and they intervened to a lesser extent. Every time they do that, because it's perceived as weak, then the guys just came back in and start buying at a lower price. There are, however, they didn't say they will. They said they're keeping a strong eye on it, and there would be further intervention if it was merited, or words to that effect. So be careful, because no matter on the peso yen or the bloody rand yen or the Timbuk bloody dinar yen, I don't know. If a sudden intervention comes in, the yen will clearly strengthen virtually immediately. Okay, like in a minute. Get the idea. So I do quite like it. Now, you put in for a sell. That's the only part I'm not sure I agree on. I'm worried about Japanese intervention, but I'm not going to preempt at these levels. Yen is still weak. We've got the interest rate coming out on the pound at 2 o'clock today. I think it's 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 o'clock today, a pound interest rate which could affect it. If it's any differential, it's likely to. So it's probably sideways up to be a bit careful. But from a technical point of view, I don't see that as a buy. I see that as a sell. So well spotted, but I like it, but I see it as a buy. But the two reasons why I'd be a bit hesitant on it is number one, 2 o'clock interest rate decision, and number two, any likelihood if it goes up too high, there might be a Japanese intervention. So be a bit circumspect. Anyhow, I still think it'd be more prudent to wait for 2 o'clock anyway. See what's happened to the interest rate decision on the pound. Okay. but I'm with you on that, Ebenezer. I like the look of it. I saw a meeting, I saw it. I thought, good idea. Just I'm not sure the direction I agree with. That's correct. There'll be some, almost certainly be some side, but let's do a shorter term chart. Good an hour. Okay. I think there'll be some sideways movement because they're worried about the 2 o'clock. Just have a look at what's expected. Give me a look again. We've got a quite high inflation rate in the UK. Just bear that in mind. Higher than ours, in fact. Interesting enough. Interest rate. Just give me a interest rate decision. Yeah, 5.2. Yeah, as I thought. Yeah, same as America. 5.25, 550 in America, whatever it is, but it's roughly the same as America. They're not expecting an interest rate, so the expectation is no movement. Now, they can have a difference in the pound. They have done the Aussie dollar. It happens, but very rarely in the US dollar. It's so powerful worldwide. They don't like to spook the markets. Jerome Powell, he's the chairman of the Fed. You got to know who he is. Very, very powerful indeed. What he does affects the finance of the world, and when he does speak. Having said that, it doesn't spook the market. If it's expected no interest rate hike and it occurs, you'll have a radical effect on the world's currencies because there's problems afoot if it goes outside the expectation. That's not quite as important in the UK economy, far from it, a lot less important. So something that can occur. So it's not expected, but it could occur. The US, it's very unlikely. This is a extreme requirement for it. Hope that makes sense. Having said that, it's the reaction to the lack of interest. BOE, Governor Bailey will be speaking, and there could be some movements up or down. So from the point of view of this particular one, technically I see upside, but I'm worried about the CPI, sorry, the interest rate decision coming out at 2, just around the corner, and I'm also worried about any bank of intervention. Otherwise, well spotted, Reno. Thanks very much. Yeah, there might have been up there. I don't know where you got it from. Did we send it? Can't remember that. GBP, JPR, yeah, we sent it. Okay. 182.70. It's gone slightly to the negative. Let's have a look. 182.70. Why was it that rate there? Was 182.70? Yeah, it seemed to come up there. I think that was the reason. When was the date again? When was it sent out? JPY 31st. Where's the 31st? Yeah, I think it came out then. It suddenly jumped. Okay, that might be the reason. Anyway, yeah. Bottom line is where I'm looking at now is I think well, leave it alone. I'm looking at now, but it looks like there's some technical damage done because it has now in the buy zone. Look, might be a bit of upside. Okay, I'm sorry it's a bit long-winded, but I want you everyone get clear on the picture. Okay, thanks for updating, Madeira. Good stuff. No, the end's got squat to do with the announcement of GBP. All the end's got to do is if it goes up to weakens too much, the government will nothing to do with it GBP at all. They'll just buy up a large, very maybe about 80 billion, depends how much of yen to strengthen it. Nothing to, but I'm just saying that's one reason. The other reason is we've got interest rates in the pound. That's got nothing to do with the yen. With a pound dollar could be the pound. I don't know ZAR. It's to do with the pound, the interest rate decision. Nothing to do with the yen. Okay, we're all good now. Okay. Okay, we're all good now. Good. Okay, so yeah, on that, leave that alone for the time being. Okay, let's have a look at that. Yeah. I know you tend to have quite wide stops longer term. That's fine, but we tend to do something. Okay, you're looking at NZD for could be okay. Fundamentals might kick that to touch head and shoulders, but could we? Now we're going back now to the NZD JPY. Going forward to that now. I mean, a buy. Well, if you see, Kyle, you asked earlier on. Do you see Ahmed and you guys there? If you look across this line here, There's a little bit of resistance there. Can you see that? Previous highs around about that level. Can you see my crosshair there as I move it across? It's gone up there. It's in the buy zone, right? That's why Zeph's looking at the buy. It's high. It's the buy zone. Right. So he's seeing a bit of a buy there. It tried to break through. It didn't. Look at the wick. Sellers came in. Similar back here, except all right, broke through there. I get that. So do I see upside this? To be honest, yes, I do. I am still a bit nervous at these levels. It might get a profit-taking pullback. There might be some TPs there get triggered to pull it back. I don't know how many or what the volumes are. That depends on how it pulls back. It might come back. It might come back this far to push up again, or it might break out. If it breaks out, we can aim up there. Plenty of meat on the bone, plenty of profit potential. Just always be remember when you get into a decent profit, 30, 40 pip profit, get your stop up to break even, just in case of Japanese government intervention. Okay, sorry, did you see the next part there? You went for a pullback. Okay. Pull back, but if it breaks through or pulls back, I agree with the trade. So no problem with that. Just bear in mind, once you're in a reasonable profit, if you take the trade, get your stop modified in case of sudden intervention. 88.98. Pullback. That's not a pullback. Oh, 88.2. That's more like. Yeah, could come around about that level. Could do, yeah. And then take it up. Could do, yeah. Look at it then when it occurs. Yeah, no problem with that. But I said, no problem at all. The end's one of the weaker currencies going. I have no problem with that. Hope all on the same page. Are we good? Okay, see a bit sideways at the moment. Look at the NAS quickly if you like. Not much happening there. Very sideways. That's the most volatile instrument of the lot, and it's moved about 20 pips in the last hour or so, hour and a half. I don't know. However, very, very quiet. NZDCHF. And was that right? Yeah, was that the one? Yeah, it was. Sod all happening there. Look at shorter term. Oh, it's popped up suddenly, but that's nothing. That's only what 5 pips what hovering around. See how that gets on. Uh, so Euro CHF doing. It's popping up as we speak. Okay. AUD CHF is that popping up again? Seem to be holding above that on the technical level. Okay. I think it's going to start running out of steam. This guy moved up since the 23rd. That's about just over a week, 10 days, basically. 200 pips. I think it's going to start, despite the fact it's still pretty strong. I think it's going to start running out of steam soon, but we'll see. Might give us an opportunity. Breaks down below here. Okay. Right. Oil bit iffy. I thought might be a bit of a bounce there. Be careful at the moment. Bit of technical damage opening below the 100. It doesn't seem to know which way we'll go. Look at that indecision yesterday. Leave it alone. And I think gold alone at the moment. Be circumspect going into tomorrow with a major jobs report coming up. Remember, it comes up every week. Those who want to join me, like I mentioned, in the session, 2 o'clock tomorrow, on the trading room Zoom ID for a straddle trade on the GBP Dart release 2:30. can do so. Remember, if you join me at 20 past, you don't have the mechanics of the trade or how to place it. I can't teach you in 5 minutes. So if you want to haven't traded it before and you want to have a look at it, join me at 2 or round about 2. Yeah, we'll just let you in. And I've got enough time then to explain the mechanics of the straddle trade to trade it. Only if you're doing on live, not on demo. Any questions? Sorry, a bit of quiet, iffy week going in. That's why I try to spend a little bit of time some helping add value in other ways. But when you get very important fundamentals like uh, the Swiss franc, the pound interest rate, we had the Canadian coming out, we had Euro stuff coming out, and US coming out all in a few days. It can get pretty hectic because fundamental override the technicals. Don't forget that. Apple, I believe it's tonight. I think it's after close or so, whatever. Is going to be releasing data. Expect a little bit of negative on Apple. I think they're battling the cell phone sales because they're a bit expensive compared to Samsung. Who knows? But anyway, that of interest to be remembered as well. So the stuff coming out. Let's say you're long on Apple, great company, technically speaking, and terrible profit came out. In other words, very way below expectations. You'll have a drop in the share price, depending on never mind a double top or a inverted head and shoulder, whatever. Just bear that in mind. Okay. Fund is coming out today. Is hope you can hear me, Chris. All right. Is the jobs report coming? Sorry, the weekly jobless claims is coming out 2:30. Bear that in mind. Okay. Oh yeah, an interest rate decision at 2 o'clock on the pound. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Uh, no, it depends. I mean, the big tech stocks are now are on the Dow as well, like Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, et al. So you do occasionally get when they're not in tandem. That's when they're not in tandem, I get quite worried actually. When you see the Dow go up and the Nas come down, or vice versa, that shows me because individually traded instruments as well, those indices. That worries me. It means there's complete trading indecision out there. Go figure. Be careful. Okay. But normally it's similar, not exactly the same, but normally similar. The Dow comes off in theory, then the Nas should, but they can go in different directions. That's when beware when that occurs. Okay. Okay. Any questions, guys? So what do you think of that? I'm sorry, guys. Too much cups of tea. Bit of a teaholic. Just gonna go quickly, little boys. I'll be back in a moment. Excuse me, sorry about that. Okay, any questions, guys? Anything you want to go over again and we've just missed? Just go over a couple of things again, just to remind. Modify stop loss. There's no guarantee far from it. It's going to hit the TP. You don't want to be in a winning situation and then end up taking a loss on the trade, but don't keep the stop loss too close. Try and keep at least about 30 pips away. Not the NAS, that's different. It's bigger. Don't, if you're first timer, don't trade the NAS. That's not for first timers. But let's say Forex, don't put it 15, 5, 10 pips away. You get stopped out in the up and down noise. But rather do that than too quick taking profits out of fear. That's not a strategy. Just fears, no. And moving stop loss away, don't get stopped out. You're stuck in losing trades. Okay, be careful and discipline on that. Don't overexpose. Get those basics under control because you can control them. You cannot control market movements. A lot of people do and understand that. Will say, send me a screenshot of their trades, not so much in their blue, usually in the red, as if I can do something about it. And you know, I'm sympathetic. Of course, I'm empathetic, but there's nothing I can do about it. The market will do what it is. If let's say we go in a buy or sell now, whether it goes up or down, we don't know. And we looked at Nasdaq a couple of moments ago. Do I know what the Nasdaq's doing now without looking at it? I have no idea. No idea. We have to check it out because millions of people are buying, selling. So whether that goes up from 81.40 to 81.50 or 81.20 or 81.30, nobody knows that. You've got to take an overall view. Okay. Yeah, well, pips, percentage increase points, I think it stands for. When you look at, let's take the most commonly traded one of the lots, which is an example here, is the euro dollar. All should be covered in your classes, by the way. This is not free classes. That's been covered by SMC. I'll do it anyway now. We're here. Euro dollar. As you can see on here, it says 1.06010, 1.06035. That last little funny little figure at the top there, that's the point. 10 points, 1 pip. So after this figure here. Why do you have points in the first place? That's for people who have very large accounts. It's like it goes up by 0.1% interest, and you've got 1,000 around your account. It doesn't make any difference. You've got a 10 million in your account, 0.1% will make a difference, just sheer volumes. Okay. So we're after pips, in this case, the fourth decimal point. So that goes from 3 to 2 or 4. That's 1 pip movement. But this should all be covered in classes. Don't spend too long on it. Pip, what leverage is, those basics should be covered in the classes. I hope they're doing that all right. Well, got more nerve than me. You might quite right, but might quite well be right. We'd better buy instead of a sell. We'd be laughing. But to take your points, in the neutral zone still, Gertrude, it's above the blue, above the black, but still below the 200. Yeah, I take your point, but I'm nervous going in now. It's had a hell of a run up over 200 pips the last few days. I think it might get a bit of exhaustion. Will it continue up? I'm not quite sure it's going to drive it further. Remember, the Swiss franc is still a strong currency. It might have considered overvalued there, and that's why it moved weaker. But I think it's getting to a stage where it might get proper value or even be undervalued. And then the buyers will come in and then they tend to sell the high risk currency, AUD and NZD against it. Make sense? So personally speaking, I'm a little bit nervous to be on the long side of the Swiss franc. Sorry, on the short side of the Swiss franc, which means you'll be long on the AUD. But it's certainly been going up. I'll give you a due on that. But I personally a little bit nervous to buy it now for that reason. If I buy it now, it's gone up quite a bit. Plus, there's a bit of resistance there. Plus, a couple of sellers coming, look at the wick. And plus, by buying the AUD, you are selling the Swiss franc, which I think overall is still quite strong. I personally would be nervous of that. I'm looking to maybe sell it if it comes back down and let's say it comes back down, opens up, the entire candle opens up below the 100 and starts coming off. Stop up here, TP down there somewhere. I think we might get a pullback there. For the moment, I should just sit on the sidelines, but I'm, as I said, a bit nervous to buy it for those reasons. Anyone else want to comment on that little opinion of mine I just come out with? Anybody think I should still be putting up a risk reward to buy it? Momentum still is pretty strong. I'll give you a due on that. I'm not doubting that at all. What do you think, guys? Would you leave it alone, or do you think like to go along with Gertrude on that one? Put a buy on. We can always put the risk reward up if you're looking at buy on that one. Never mind what I say. I might be wrong. I've been wrong before. We all have. Nobody has. Everybody has. You need to have your own opinion. Who think it could be some more upside? We'll put our up for you and Gertrude if you like it. Let's hear your opinions. Let's see your interaction. Very important. That's what I think, Nick. NK, sorry. Yeah. If it's against the yen, oh, I'd be more confident. Against the Swiss franc, I think it's going to. I expect to run out of steam up this level here, actually, and then this level here. So it's still got plenty of fuel on board, but look at it. But I think it's going to start slowing down. That's my opinion. Any other comments on that? What do you think, guys? Yeah, that's something I'm looking for a sell on it. I quite agree. Thanks, Gertrude. Noted. I'm looking to sell, Chris. Yeah, be honest. If this area holds, even as remember, it's still in the neutral area. This is an important moving average, not as powerful as these two guys here. If that holds and starts coming off, I think maybe let's be cautious. How far away is it? 23 pips. That's not that much. If it breaks below 58 and starts coming off, then I'd be more confident to see it pull back. Yeah, but I'm looking for a sell. You're right. Not you're right. That's my opinion. Sorry. Got to be careful there. Yeah, yeah, I can see that in the wick on the daily. Yeah, but it's not enough. Look at that. Look, it's indecision. That's not terminal sellers are coming in. That's not enough. Nowhere near enough. In fact, it doesn't really tell me anything at the moment, to be honest. Remember, guys, candle tells you immediately, not lagging indicators, immediately what the buy and sellers are doing. This is 15 minutes. That's from 10:45 to 11 o'clock. It's only 15 minutes, that candle. It's just about 9 minutes old. Sellers came in, then the buyers came in. There's no particular direction at the moment. I'd be a little more patient on that before you get stuck in there, mate. Oh, bloody hell, Kyle. I like it. Just start your trading journey. Good man. That's confidence for you. I like it. Good, well done. GBP, Euro GBP, sorry. Euro GBP now. Just want to mention something about the euro, by the way. It looks like, although she's been hawkish, Christine Lagarde, she's the president of the ECB, European Central Bank. Remember that, guys. And she's been fairly hawkish, and interest rates have been increasing accordingly. I think it's about 4%. Can't remember actually. However, they're not having a great deal of success in the job creation that America's had. So it's looking like overall, remember, a Eurozone group, it's not individual countries, several countries make up it. And a lot of them are looking like more recession than anything else. So I actually a bit worried about the euro strength continuing. I think I might get it. Well, I'm not even looking at the chart, but fundamentally going forward, I'm thinking euro might start weakening a bit, but we shall see on that basis. Looking at the chart there, clearly, on what you've learned so far, it's above the blue and above the brown. So it's clear in the buy zone. It came back and tested, and then it held, it held, it held, it held, it held. You get the idea? That's what the candle tells you. Also, the downside is, sorry, put it back here. The downside is the lack of follow through. All right, I had a big follow through. That might have been a fundamental. I don't know what happened there. Yeah. So let's have a look at the range from about there to there. It's only about a 50 pip range. And that's over today. So calendar day, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2.5 weeks. It had been trading about a 50 pip range or slightly less, somewhere around about that. So not a lot of profit there, not a lot of meat on the bones, as I call it. Bit of slang there, excuse me. Number one. Number two, it's got a little bit of resist at the moment. And number three, it's halfway. So you got a 50 pip range. and it's 25 pip into that range, you're looking to buy or sell a halfway house. So for that reason, I wouldn't be buying this. If I wanted to buy it, I'd be buying it down there and range trade it up there. If I can get a right risk reward scenario, which I might not be able to get. But at this stage, I don't see a trade there. And on top, I'm a little bit worried about the euro, but I'm also worried about pound. Well, that's not great. They're not in great shape either. Why are they working properly? Yes, they are. Their expenses are horrendous. All the social services, they say go woke, go broke. All the social services are great and wonderful, but unfortunately, they cost money. It's got to be come from somewhere, and the bureaucracy there, like most places in the world, is getting out of hand. And plus, they got the interest rate decision coming up at 2 o'clock. For some of those reasons, Carl, I would leave it alone. Okay, before we move on to the next one, Hunter, I just want to say, Carl, that's the reason I'd leave it alone. Hope we're good with that. Give me a second, Jason. Yeah. You got my number, haven't you, Jason? I've just put in actually don't put your number on here for everyone. You might get calls from all sorts of people. Yeah. I put mine on. Just WhatsApp me your details. That's my WhatsApp. Just send me a detail by WhatsApp, okay? Okay, just WhatsApp me your details, and then I'll have a chat to you. Yeah, no problem. Say it's Jason Kinnear. Your full. If you put your real account number, make life easier as well, so I can see clearly what's happening on the account. Okay. Okay, no problem. Don't send me a WhatsApp. I'll call you. Don't call me. Just send me a WhatsApp, Jason, saying who you are. People do that and say it's me. Well, who's me? Don't. Hello, this is Joe Soap, account number 212656. Please, will you give me a shout or call me or whatever? I'll do that, and I'll call you on not that number, but another number recorded line. Okay. Right, where are we now? Okay, are you good with that analysis there? Noted, cut. Good stuff. Another one you want? Oh, yeah, NZDCHF was asked about. Well, clearly, hopefully it's going to come right. Got a trade idea on it. We'll pick it up anyway. Yeah, popping up and down. Hopefully it's going to come right. I think it's like the AUD Swiss franc. I think it's starting to run out of steam. And it was a little bit down here when we looked at it. It's just popped up a few pips. But when it came out, it was around there and looked to be holding, coming off a bit. You see what I mean? It's popped up a bit. It was around about these levels. So that's why we thought of a short, but it's only gone up a little bit. It's only about 6 pips above, or 10 actually going on the buy, to be fair. But yeah, so it's gone up a little bit, but let's see it run. Your stop loss is above this level here, so just hope it comes right. Not much else I can say on that. Okay, we're good. Okay, guys, let's come up to what is 11 o'clock now. Thanks, as always, for your support and joining me here. I'll catch you tomorrow morning, same time, 9:30 till 11. And then, as mentioned, we'll have the 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock session for the NFP data release at 2:30. So if you can, and on a live account, join me then, and that would be good. Cheers, guys. Cheers all.
Roger.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
I see you have more than 4 instruments opened on your window. For me, it's only up to a maximum of 4. Why is that?
What 4 instruments open my window? Where have I got 4 open on my window?
No. I'm talking about the tabs below the currencies that you've got opened. It's more than 4. I can see GBPUSD, GBPCHF all the way. You get me?
You shouldn't be able to see it. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to see it. I don't know. You have a couple open at the moment.
Yeah, I'm wondering why my one always stops at 4.
No, I know. I only got a couple open at the moment. Yeah, no, it shouldn't stop. You should be able to have as many open as long as you got the free margin to do so. I just think you shouldn't have 4
No,
open.
it's not even a matter of placing a trade. It's not even a matter of placing a trade. Let's say I just want to check another instrument. I'll have to replace one of the 4 that I've already got at the bottom there, those tabs.
I'm sorry, I'm not with you. I'm sorry, say
Can
again.
I share screen?
We've got to go now, but I'll tell you what. Do you mean adding to your watch list?
Not on my market watch. You see, we see the ones you have below your charts. There, right there.
Yeah, here.
You see
This is
those
my
ones,
mailbox.
yes.
Yeah, what about it?
No, not your mailbox. The one,
Yeah.
no. You
My
see,
trade.
you see your charts. Charts that you've already got opened. They
Oh,
are
you
right
mean
below-
all these here?
Yes.
All the oh no, that's just a quick to go to. Just a quick go to that.
Yes, my
Close
quick
them
to
off.
go to, my quick to go to doesn't exceed 4. Why is that?
Oh, I haven't the slightest idea. Nobody's asked me that before. I thought as many as you like. A very good point. I have no idea. Those are not trades, they're just open
For
charts.
example, my quick to go to, if I want another instrument, I'll have to replace one of the 4 that I already got as my quick to go to. You get what I'm saying?
I do now, yeah. Beg your pardon. I thought you're looking at my open positions. I get your point now. You should be able to see that. And then that should show it to you. I don't know. Are you on a demo or a live?
Well, I'll be alive if I'm here with your
Live.
VIP group.
Okay, fine. I honestly don't know. I'm going to be upfront, Muzu. Good question. I don't know. And you're quite right. I've got even more than that, I think. Probably, I don't know, because I ever go in, that's in 1 hour. These are charts I look at. If I go and look at the XAU USD, it should come up here somewhere. There it is. That's on the 4 hour. And I can go back to this one quickly. I'll have a look at that. If you lose the chart, what happened there now? Try this one there. There we are. You get the idea. But
if I shared the screen, we would have been done with it, Roger, I think.
I tell you what, I've got a better idea. I'm not sure how to sort that out, to be honest. I think what you need to do, probably better to go to the live chat and go into trade support. Clinton should be on there, and he's a tech guru. He really knows his tech inside out. He might be able to sort that out for you. Because honestly, Muzi, excellent question, and I really don't know. You should have all of them there, and that's quite important. Excellent question. Thanks for that. Okay. Cheers. Okay, Vilna, what about the straddle? Yeah, we're doing straddle trade tomorrow. If you join me at 2 o'clock. Yeah, correct. Good. Okay, guys. Thanks, Bruno. Thanks, everyone else. And catch you tomorrow.